If you've ever felt like you could not possibly be your authentic self in public because people would end up calling the cops or making the sign of the cross at you, congrats, you're masking. Masking. It's that thing that neurodivergent people do when we act like someone we're not, all to avoid rejection, fit in, or just survive social life.
Hello, my baby. Hello, my honey. Hello, my ragtime gal.
Without being constantly mortified. And if you're like me, you spent decades perfecting it, trying to avoid jokes that are not even remotely funny to neurotypicals, not at the correct time, a fake laugh that probably qualifies as cardio. Today, we're talking about why masking is exhausting, why it's more common than you think, and spoiler alert, why I finally said, stick a fork in me, I'm done. Let me start with the obvious. Masking is exhausting. You're constantly observing, calculating, performing. It's like being on stage 24/7, except the audience is everyone you meet, and nobody handed you a script. I remember a time at a work party, I was cracking jokes, agreeing with everyone, nodding enthusiastically. Meanwhile, my brain was screaming, when can I leave? When is this over? Studies back this up. Research published in ADHD, Attention and Behavior, shows that adults with ADHD, particularly women, often camouflage their behaviors to avoid criticism or social judgment. That's masking.
Mask?
It's survival, but it's also a trap. Dr. Devin Price, a social psychologist, says masking might help you fit in, but it costs you a little piece of yourself every time you do it. And let me tell you, by age 30, I was basically a jigsaw puzzle with several pieces missing. And by 50, so many pieces were missing, I had only the corner pieces. So why do we do this? Well, for starters, humans are social creatures. We crave approval, validation, and let's face it, we want people to like us without realizing the mental gymnastics it takes. ADHD brains are often hypersensitive to rejection. That's called rejection sensitive dysphoria. I made a video about that and I'll link it in the description. Rejection sensitive dysphoria basically means one sideways glance and you're spiraling, wondering if your entire personality is a mistake. So we perform, we joke, we smile, we laugh, we entertain. Here's the kicker. Masking isn't pretending to be polite. For women with ADHD, it's often about being acceptable in a world that seems designed to punish difference. We learn early on to cover our quirks, hide our hyperfocus, suppress our distractions. And it works for a while. You get through social situations, coworkers like you, friends don't hate you, but eventually it's like running on a treadmill carrying 10 huge packages of groceries. You get nowhere and your arms are falling off. And here's the problem. Eventually, you forget who you actually are under all that performance. You stop recognizing your own reactions. You might even start asking, am I actually funny? Do I really like these things? Or am I just copying what everyone else seems to like? Masking creates a loop of exhaustion, self-doubt, and if you let it, an erosion of identity. The stress can also kick your ADHD into overdrive. Dropping the mask isn't as easy as it sounds. I tried it once at a small gathering. I didn't perform. I didn't entertain. I didn't even make the fake laugh. There was silence, crickets that stretched on for way too long. I could feel every social rule I'd learned since kindergarten flailing in the wind. People looked at me like I had just announced I was going to eat their dog. And to be fair, I probably did look a little scary sitting there and talking softly to my stuffed Bigfoot. But here's the revelation: silence isn't dangerous. Not performing isn't a crime. It's just honest. Dr. Russell Barkley, a leading ADHD researcher, says adults with ADHD who mask chronically experience higher stress and burnout, which makes sense because you're literally pretending to be someone else all day, every day. Once you stop, there's discomfort, awkwardness, confusion, but also relief. It's like when you get home from work and you take your bra off and fling it across the room. Nice. The key moment for me was realizing that the mask had stopped protecting me. It wasn't saving me from judgment anymore. I was still the weird one. It was hiding me from myself. And when I let it go, the world didn't collapse. People didn't hate me. Instead, I found that I had more energy, more patience for myself, and yeah, the occasional embarrassing moment that didn't matter in the long run.
Take off the mask!
The mask had been heavy, and putting it down felt like the first deep breath I'd taken in decades. My ADHD had been my problem for most of my life, so now I was going to make it everyone else's. So here's the takeaway: masking is normal for neurodivergent people, but it's also exhausting, confusing, and unnecessary once you realize that your true, authentic self is enough. You don't have to entertain everyone. You don't have to nod at the right times. You don't have to laugh at jokes that you don't even get. And sometimes letting your quirks come through is the funniest and most freeing thing you'll ever do. It can draw the right people to you and repel the ones that you don't want. Hey, bonus. Honestly, I'd rather be weird and real than normal and exhausted. Right, Biggie? If this video resonated with you, please consider liking and subscribing. It doesn't cost anything and it helps my channel to grow. What are some ways that you found yourself masking? Have you ever tried dropping the mask and being your authentic self with others? Let us know in the comments. I'll have some cool links in the description, so check those out. And thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.